Good afternoon and welcome. Yes, good afternoon and welcome. I want you today to think about some things that we are trying to do in a major way. All the things that we have before us tonight, we're going to be dealing with basically um, just a few. I want to do some housekeeping tonight because everything that you've been trying to do and everything that has been coming your way, I want to just deal with that tonight. I want to deal with I just want to deal with it in such a way that you will know beyond anything where you are and what we are attempting to do. Because we are not trying at any given time, are we trying to say that we are in a I don't want to use pandemic tonight too much because now we have seen that we can get around some of these things. Hi, Carolyn. We can get around some of these things that we've been avoiding. And since we've been trying to avoid them, we're going to have them not maybe at our beck and call, but we're going to have them in such a way that we can do some things with them. Let me get to the computer for a moment. And when I get there, I'm going to definitely try to see you in a better way. Because what has been happening is that all the people that have, all the people who tried to, in this past, all of those who tried to make some type of of some type of communication. The only thing that we've been finding is that these persons have had some very, very, very difficult times. And because they've had these difficult times, we are suffering from them. And we're suffering in such a way that every time we are turning around, we are saying, where do we go? And what is happening is that it's not so much where we are going right now because we have a new president, we have a new set of values, we have things that we never dreamed would be on the forefront with us. And here it is now, forcing us to evaluate what we do, how we've done it, and how we make it. Thanks. How we make it become that which is important to us. And therefore, what I want you to do with me tonight, I want you to think about that. And I want you to look at these things because what's been happening is that all the people around us, they've been making great strides. And in making those great strides, the only people who basically have been losing are the people who are sitting there telling me, I must have gotten about 50 posts asking me about voting. And now this is bad because you keep telling me that things change based on who's in the White House. And I'm telling you, people are making money right now. They're making money. They're making money from the idea that Mr. Trump is out of office. But I mean, how does that really hurt you? That doesn't hurt you because number one, we got to visit this 2 years from now because I was hearing people saying the former financial crisis. Do you know how many people lost their homes during the financial crisis of 2007, 2008, and 2009. And then all of a sudden, you start hearing things like Goldman Sachs received $50 billion, or $50 million, that's a lot of money. Bank of America received money, Wells Fargo received money, and they were foreclosing left and right on people's homes. And then when you're sitting there and you came back, and this is the first time since things like during the Great Depression, when people were given jobs by the government in order to keep them afloat. And the work, it was menial labor, but we got sidewalks put in, we had roads paved, we had places where people didn't want to work before the pandemic. Well, not the pandemic, but before the Depression. Then people took the jobs. So many people, including our Treasury Secretary now, she was on the Economic Advisory Council, and she advised that bail out the companies. And then you turn around in the pandemic, and the people were semi-bailed out. Although you saw, until we did the honor and shame of making big companies, like, why in the name would someone like the Lakers need a bailout? All the hundreds of millions of dollars they paid players, they gave it back. But that isn't the case. What if it had been like the good old days when we didn't have social media, or we didn't have someone working at the SBA that would say, we need to post all the people who get these Steak Shack and Cheesecake Factory. All of these companies were getting great loans, but they were still laying off people. So then, now what we are going to do, could I say a little word about yesterday or the day before yesterday? I came onto my Facebook and I started screaming, oh, GameStop, GameStop. Then I came back and I said, it dropped. Because what happens is that I can't give you financial advice. I can tell you what a stock is doing. And you know yourself, if you had Robinhood, what Robinhood did, Robinhood wouldn't allow us to trade. Well, we could trade, but we couldn't buy the stock. But what we could do, we could try to make the stock make sense for us. Why am I saying that? Because see, what Robinhood did, Robinhood did all of the things that you and I would never dream that Robinhood would do. Robinhood wouldn't let us buy the stock. But we found out that Robinhood was still allowing people like the big time stockholders, they were still buying, but we were unable to buy. And what I'm saying to you, Reddit and much of social media was saying, buy GameStop, buy GameStop. But they never came back and said, sell GameStop. So today, GameStop lost 50%, but institutional investors had already made money. See, now we need to talk to Robinhood. But look at the type of conversations we have had. Conversations such as my saying to you that you need Webull. My saying to you that you also need companies, you also needed not just Webull, but you needed Ameritrade. You needed Ameritrade, you needed all of these companies so that you wouldn't sit there and be lost, or you wouldn't sit there and not have someone other than yourself, that you wouldn't have someone that would just sit there and say, oh, I don't trust big business. Well, the thing happens is Robinhood makes a lot of money, but Robinhood isn't big business. Robinhood is a platform that a couple of gentlemen put together. They have bought some companies, yes, they have. But even in purchasing those companies, Robinhood still isn't someone that you would say they are big time. They're not big time. They're not small fry by no stretch of the imagination, but they are not like a Goldman Sachs. They are not like some of the Merrill Lynch. That isn't Robinhood. Merrill Lynch shut it down. Goldman Sachs shut it down. And then the SEC, they're going to come along in a few more years and they're going to say, oh, it was so terrible what you've done. You shut it down. Well, can we talk about that for just a little bit? Can we talk about what it means? There you are, this wonderful person, but what does it really mean when things are not going the way that you think they should do? Because here, one of the toughest parts of financial accumulation is strategic management. You have to manage what you have. You have to manage it, because if you don't manage it, 9 times out of 10, what's going to happen is that you're going to write these posts about woulda and coulda and shoulda. And then we still are saying, how do we make these things work? How do we make them work the best for us? And I'm saying to you, how you make them work the best for us is that we come back and we try to do some strategic financial management. Now, can we look at that for just a moment? Because if we're doing some strategic financial management, the thing that is going to happen, you're going to reap some great benefits out of everything that is going on. Now, what are we talking now? Well, first of all, we are trying to make this shifting during the COVID, because we're still in COVID. And because we're still in COVID, you need some updates on the SBA. You need some updates on the PP programs, and you need some updates on all of these things. Stimulus, the second check and the third check that is coming. And you have to start saying, how do I start today? And every time you look at this, you look at these multiple event platforms. And then when you see them, what do? Do you become afraid, or do you sit there and say, this is the best for me? I hope that you are saying that this is the best for me, because every time you are seeing these things, COVID is spreading, but then COVID also presents not only the risk of the disease, but it also gives you the risk of losing money. Because see, if you don't invest, now you don't invest. So everybody's saying wear a mask, but nobody's saying how do you rebound your cash? How do you reshape your financial? And and then you start, and I'm gonna put this in there so that you don't put there and say, oh, he's desperate. I'm not desperate, I'm faithful. Because I do understand a couple of things that are important. And some of the things that are more important is that we have to look and say, these are unprecedented times. No, I'm not talking about Kamala Harris. No, I'm talking about Biden. I'm not talking about, see, that's almost like you sitting there watching a soap opera. Because no matter what you tell me, we still don't know how the president of the United States is chosen. Al Gore, he beat Bush. Bush goes to Florida. They undo the situation. Bush comes out president. We come back. Ms. Clinton beats Donald Trump. But Donald Trump sits there on the night he declares he's the winner, comes back, and all the people, they're upset, just repeating what the news is saying. And then all of a sudden, we come back and we start talking Oh, he's illegitimate. He's this and that. But he served 4 years. So now we have Mr. Biden. And Mr. Biden is concentrating on things that many of us will look and say, these are distractions. Yes. Oh, I'm gonna do 300 million people, but oh, can you just tell me, show me the money? Because when Ms. Yellen came in, when her talk was just like someone, she came in and everybody was saying her background. Oh, she was over the Federal Reserve when we had no money. Oh, she was over the Federal Reserve during risk. Do you know how cheap the dollar was during that situation? See, that's another argument. Oh, her type of economics is that she's done the new Adam Smith. We haven't used Adam Smith economics since he won the Nobel Prize. And so the thing that happens, most people use narrative economics. So if she had come in and has truly spoken to economists, what we would have said, you would have seen other economists that are on the news. They would have come in and all of a sudden, they would have been saying things like, yes, yes. You haven't heard any major economist do a retake on what Ms. Yellen has said. Because see, on Wall Street, the unfortunate part on Wall Street is that Ms. Yellen doesn't have the type of credibility that the newspapers are saying. When she was on the economic policy, she got removed. Come on now. See, those are the things that you have to research rather than sit there and talk about all of the strides that are being made. The only strides that have been made is these are unprecedented times. Oh Lord, these are times when you're trying to see, you need financial strategies, you need economic strategies, you need to position yourself to where if you're ever in a situation like yesterday. See, yesterday, the news was trying to say, oh my God, look at the bad that is going on. See, you don't want to be in that. What you want to do is that you want to stop right here and develop a plan to where you're strategic. You know the worst thing you could ever do is always be frazzled. See, that's me. That's me. Trying to never be frazzled. You'll say things that you will regret. You'll make decisions that you can't undo. And then you'll become stuck. So let's do that now. Give me some time with the PPP. Give me some time with the educational tax benefit. Give me some time with how to get your money from the government. And because see, what I want you to do, and I want you to think about this for a moment. So I'm not going to do the church right now. I'm going to do you. So first of all, if you did not get your first stimulus pay, they are going to claim that they're going to give it to you in this monies that are in your tax return. Could I ask you a favor? Can you go on the website of the Internal Revenue? And matter of fact, I'm on there now, but what was happening was I couldn't share screen with sharing screen with Zoom, but I'm unable to share with StreamYard. So when you go online, if you could just right now just go online, and when you go online, what you're going online to do is that you're going to the Internal Revenue's website, IRS.gov. And when you get there, they're going to have tools that they're going to say to you, do you want to apply for your stimulus? Then you press the button. And it's going to take you, even if you don't make enough money to file your taxes, because if you got Social Security, if you got SSI, they already know where you live. So if you didn't get your stimulus, this is a good time to apply. And what would happen, you would get the stimulus that you should have gotten last year, and you'll get the stimulus that, January 15th was the cutoff date for the automatic. So now you'll get the stimulus. The reason the news are saying to you, you can't get it to after February. They always tell you half the news because see what the Internal Revenue has asked. Instead of tax season beginning in January, tax season is beginning in February. February the 12th, around February the 12th. So after February the 12th, you can get your stimulus. Now this one is only $600. And then there's another package that is being, there's another package that is being brought to your attention. And when it's being brought to your attention, what they are trying to, not what they are trying to do, what is being said is that the most challenging part about everything about this is the money. That's what you want. You want the money. If you are here and you're not working 5 days a week, now you should be applying to whatever state you're in. I'm not talking about whatever state you live in. And the reason that I'm saying that to you, this is not the time to be proud. This is the time to be strategic. Because if Cheesecake Factory, who sells a piece of cake for $9, if they're not afraid or not ashamed to go into the government and apply for a loan, then you should not be ashamed. You don't have the money that the Cheesecake Factory has. So the situation happens with us sometimes. We're proud and broke. But then as soon as something comes out, we feel we're entitled. Well, you are entitled. You're entitled now. And what you're entitled to do right now is that you're entitled to come on board, make this thing work just for you. And if you can make this work just for you, you're going to make a fortune. Because if you take the $1,500 or $1,600 that you didn't have and take it and become some type of investor, either a day investor or one that's for the long term. But here the situation is that you are due a stimulus and you should apply. Now they have an educational credit that if you, when I'm saying they, again, I'm speaking of what is, I don't care if it's Donald Trump or Biden, whomever. That's not important. I mean, please stop. I was on a Zoom the other night and, a doctor with a degree was saying that the Trump administration held up the vaccine. And I said, where did you get that? See, these are just things to incite us. And see, that's not how you make money. You make money being cool, calm, and calculated. And if, for some of you who, you're around my age, Nino Brown, cool and calm. To the fact where people don't even know that you're the most dangerous person in the whole room. So the thing that is happening is that Mama said, they won't know how little you know until you open your mouth. So in this time, you're working from home. So why not take a minute, and all you have to do is develop a purpose. Because in these unprecedented times, You really have to do some things that are going to make some sense. Our objective today, we're looking at governmental, we're looking at small business, and we're looking at professional. Because see, a lot of times people believe that a doctor, a lawyer, and all of these things, people say, I'm that. But see, at the end of the day, they make their money just like you. Yes, they're super doctors, those that are making $2-3 million a year. They're super lawyers, those that are making $2-3 million a year. But most of the time, when you meet people, they're just like you. They're making $200,000-300,000 a year, and that's it. But they have this inordinate amount of student loans. And so what I'm asking you is that what I want you to do, again, I want you to go to the Department of Education's website. And when you get there, you look up your student loan account, you get all of that data, and then you go over to the Internal Revenue. Because what they are doing, they're giving you an educational tax. And it's not as strong as the 2020 and 2019, but it's really strong. You can delay, you can defray, you can postpone, but they're not forgiving the student loans. But if you got right here, if you're paying $500, $600 a month for your student loans, and all of a sudden you can get you a reprieve, that's a governmental program. But if you're sitting here saying, Mr. Stokeland, I don't want that because, I don't want the government to give me anything. Okay, fine. And that's the thing. So then don't ask for the vaccine. And if the vaccine doesn't come, don't claim it's racial. Then, because the government invested billions of dollars to get that vaccine developed. Because with those billions of dollars, they bought hundreds of millions of dollars of doses. Because they are not trying to make the COVID vaccine eliminate COVID, because they probably are going to sit there. And the way many of the CDC officials are saying is that every year you may have to take a COVID test. A COVID test and a COVID vaccine, a COVID vaccination. Now, what is that doing? See, again, they are strategic. And we sit here because many of us, we are biblical people. And every time you look at us, we ask questions like, does God respect wealth? Yes. But he says things. He said there's a wrong way to prosper. But is it wrong to prosper when so many people are experiencing problems? Then you answer that question. Because the way the news was doing the last 3 or 4 days, they was touting the fact that the little man had made so much money. Now, can you help me there? Because see, the only time people on the media get excited is when they feel as if they got a one-up. You don't have a one-up. That is the problem that we're having. There's no one-up, because everywhere you look, people are trying to get these things, and they're trying to get these things in a major way. Everybody wants to get paid. Everybody wants to make a fortune. Everybody wants to do things that everybody wants to do this in a major way. But today, I want to talk to you because here you are, wherever you are, you need a business. You need a business where you spend $150. You get an LLC certificate, Delaware, Wyoming, and you apply. Because you have enough time in these times to know that it's not wrong to prosper. Because my suggestion to you is that much of the grief that is going to be experienced is when all these government programs go away. And then the landlord can do what he or she wants to do. Big business can do what they want to do. You're going to see a lot of people in the courts with mortgages You're going to see a lot of people being evicted. You're going to see a lot of people with their cars being repossessed. You're going to see a lot of people with so many things going on. And that's when you're going to see what many people claim needing to have some grief. But the grief isn't going to be what the pandemic took from us. The grief is going to be post-pandemic, what kind of financial problem that this thing has left us in. Because see, if you tell the truth, you know that entrepreneurship, those are things, the job you're working on and the things that you are doing, you got to find a way. I'm talking about a real way to make some additional monies. And you make those additional monies and you have to make them in such a way that I'm not talking $3,000, $4,000. I'm talking real money. So here you are now, and I congratulate you on all the things that you're doing. I congratulate you on all of those things. But the scary part for everything that we are doing, this is the frightening part. See, the frightening part is that many of us, we are not making ourselves available. So now let me stop there for just a moment. And I want you to write these down. I want you to write down Ameritrade. And you say, well, why? Because when we finish tonight, you're going to go online and you're going to open an Ameritrade account. You will be angry because Ameritrade stopped trading GME 2 days ago. They stopped trading AMC 2 days ago, and these stocks jumped. AMC dropped 70%, GME dropped 50%, but money had already been made. Yes, money had already been made. So the thing that happens is that, can I teach you to be savvy? Yes. The Friday night, yes. But watch sometimes through the week. And I'll drop a little bit there because my hope is that one of these days that we all do an investment club to where we can get together 5 or 6 minutes every morning. We can have prayer. We can read the scripture. Then we can look over our stocks and bonds. And we can look over our investment accounts, look over our cryptocurrency. We can look over these things in a way that we stay solid. And why am I saying that? Because a lot of times, and I know if you're older like I am, you were told, go to school, everything was going to be all right. And it is. But now, every time you look up, there are always some problems. And these problems that you experience, let me see. The problems that you are experiencing, they are not strange problems. They're problems that everybody experiences. I mean, a lot of people experience these problems because when they experience these problems, the things that bother them the most are not the idea of the actual event, but what bothers us the most are the after effects. Many people are not afraid of, shall I say, they're not afraid of the virus per se, but what they are afraid of, they're afraid of the things that are going on now. So, you go in the virus and you're there, it works, but then there you are and you feel sick. There you are, things are not everything that you thought they were going to be. And, you are really, really, really having some major problems. Now, can we talk about that? Because when you're looking, there are 2 things that you have to see. First of all, education, entrepreneurship, entrepreneurship, just plain old, just making some money. Now, the American Opportunity Tax Credit, everything that you are trying to do within the Consolidated Appropriations Act, That's what they're calling what we just experienced with the new stimulus package. So in the stimulus package, what you are doing is that the law, it took away the tuition and fees deduction for 20 and 21. And then in addition, it phased out the lifetime learning credit. And with a more favorable phase out rule that said that the lifetime tuition credit is worth $2,000 per tax return annually. And the American Opportunity Tax Credit is worth $2,500 per student each year. So every time you look at this, so if you, your son, your daughter are going to college, off of your tax return automatically, you get a credit of $7,500. So actually, looking at that from a idea of what is it? Well, what it really is, it is your if you remember, if you had children before, people used to, have children, and some of the children have passed away, and they're not even their children, but they would get that credit, and then the government was sending out 6,000, 5,000, 4,000. Then all of a sudden, they started coming back saying, "Where's the child? What you doing?" So my suggestion is that you keep your transcripts and you keep those things that will prove that you were in school. So now, so we're there with those tax credits, and everything that we're trying to do there is that we're trying to make these things make sense. Now, with all of that in mind, we come back, because I keep saying you have to position yourself. And sometimes I keep saying the pandemic of 2020, but the pandemic has been extended to 2021. And so because it's been extended to 2021, this is where we are going to have to place ourselves. We cannot just say, "Oh, it's going to go away." See, in 1930s, during the Depression, after the Depression, more millionaires were made than any other time in American history. Now, don't you honestly say that there should be some millionaires made in this pandemic? It's the best time to maintain your business, your career, or your profession. You got to, the cost of goods, real estate, and are lower in a recession. And therefore, you got to position yourself for when the economic climate improves. And that's where I want to say to you, that's where I am with you. So I'm not trying to make you see these things in any type of, this isn't a political thing. Sometimes I'm almost hating politics now. Because see, the thing about it, it's almost like a game. Politics is not a game. Politics is big business. So you tell me, where have you ever seen somebody spend $200-300 million for a job that pays like $300-400, like $400,000 or $500,000? It comes with a pension forever. It comes with Secret Service forever. But you tell me, Mr. Obama now, he's worth more than $100 million. And he paid his student loans when he was headed into the White House. He was living in a regular house. He bought a house in Chicago, I think Hyde Park or something, after he had secured the Democratic nomination for president, because he knew that very few people would respect the president if they got to come to the apartment building that he lives in to see him. Oh no, Donald Trump's name was on Trump Towers. And Donald Trump has like 25,000-30,000 square feet in Trump Tower on Fifth Avenue. And that apartment, they don't even have any comps for that apartment. So you're talking hundreds of millions of dollars. So what I'm saying to you, that's what you have to look. You look at the wealth that happens, and then you say to yourself, you get rid of all of your stereotypes. This is for you. You apply for your stimulus, and you're looking at me, you're saying, Wayne, how do I apply for a stimulus and then I'm trying to make $1 million? That's what happened with GameStop. People bought GameStop $5. GameStop was traded at $360 a share. So if you had purchased with your stimulus, look at that. If you had purchased with your stimulus at $4.75, let's say $5, so I can make it easy. You had 200 shares of GameStop. And then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of this week, one of your 100 of shares would be worth, 3,000, move that, 36, what is it, 360? So it'd be worth $36,000. And then the other day, I was not trying to be disrespectful because someone said to me, well, trying to say you want to make $25,000 is unrealistic. It is unrealistic, but we are living in unprecedented times. So see, when things are unprecedented, if you only going to do things the way you used to do them, you can't. Have you ever gone to the restaurant that you love and you get there and they say, there's too many people in here. And you look at the restaurant, there's only 12 or 13 people there. Times have changed. You have to wear a mask if you go in the post office. You have to wear a mask if you go anywhere on federal property. Times have changed. So when you say things to me, remember now, is that I'm not living post 2019, 2018. No. I'm trying to position myself to be better. When in 2021, when they start minting people saying, how much did you make this year? And I'll stand there and say, I made $2 million, I made $3 million. But no, nobody was seeding to me at the church. But we were out here making this money from a real perspective. So I want you to start making money from a real perspective. I don't want you sitting up there telling me, you got all this pie in the sky and it's coming. No, I want you to start making this money now. I want you to start making this money in such a way that every time you turn around, people are looking at you saying, they're saying, what's going on? And then you start saying, I'm making money. And you say, how? I'm in the stock market. And then they'll look up and they'll start saying, oh my goodness, so you're making money that way? You say, yes. And then when you start doing that, what people start doing from there is that people start looking at you in a totally different way. And that's how you want them to look at you. You don't want people to always see you the same way. You want them to see you differently. And how do you make people see you differently? Differently, is you start doing different things. And how you're going to do those is that you want to become a money-making machine. And you can only do that when you take these things that you're doing and you start making them make sense for you. Now, let me see, can I do something else with you that will say, this is money? Because the things that have been so much before us, many people saying, for the PPP, okay. So now as a churchman, you want to do everything you can to get all the money that you can. But what the problem happens is that many times when you are doing these things, the problem that starts coming forth to you is that, again, you get political. And every time you get political in this arena, you lose. Yes, you lose. Every time you start getting social, you lose. See, social is that's what it is. It's just social. Look at social media. If we got $25 to $100 for every hour we spend on Facebook, some of us would already make $2,500 a day. But see, social, it's a hobby. And see, a hobby is not a business. Check the internal revenue. See, a business has to have a desk or table in your house. It has to have a piece in your house. It has to be registered with your city. It has to be registered with the federal government. It has to have an EIN number. If it made a certain amount of money, it has to pay taxes or just file a tax return. Sometimes filing the tax return is what makes you come up with all of these beautiful things. I'm talking about gorgeous things that you just sit there and all you have to do is just laugh. And when you get finished laughing, you're saying things like, look what I've done. Look how things have made sense. Look what these things have done. And then all of a sudden, you become in a whole nother arena. Because see, the millionaire makers, real estate, money, you want to say money's king or queen? Yes. All of these things, different mindset. I talk about these things because you got to learn to do these things. Learn to serve, your mindset, reality check. You can't be depressed, you can't be angry, you can't be in denial, you can't always be bargaining. See, some of us, that's what we are doing through COVID, because see, we are tuning in to the wrong channels. We're tuning in to people that every time you start looking, as soon as the vaccine, they said the vaccine would never be, but then as soon as the vaccine became available, then all of a sudden, there you are sitting, and the people that are with you, they got all of this other stuff that they're trying to make. They're trying to make you try to see how these things work. Well, I want you to change this, because see, if you don't change this, the thing that begins to happen on the other side of COVID, you're going to be just like we were on the other side of the financial crisis. We were sitting there, everything had gone down, and we were sitting there with nothing to do. And because we saw all of this real estate, but we couldn't get a mortgage. We saw all of these investment opportunities, but we could not put the money there. But here, it doesn't take a lot of money. You have to stay with the idea of what you are going to do to make some solid investments. Now, let's say this again. W.E. Bull. Now, I'm still going to keep my Robinhood account. I don't care. But I got my Kraken account, Robinhood, my Ameritrade, and I also have like a Merrill Lynch account. And the thing that happens is that you're sitting there and you're saying, why? Because even with Robinhood just showed that they were not as big as we have made them to be. So the thing is that keep your Robinhood and make your little trades with him. Because Robinhood, you can make your day trades. And then you can pull your money out. You got $1,600, you can buy something in the morning. And then you buy what we call options, or you buy contracts. You buy them, then you sell them in the evening, and you make your money. Yes, those are questions that you take my right off of that flyer. I have my name, I have my email. All you do is just take off of there, and you text me or you call me, because listen, you want to make money. It's the thing with church, and the thing that troubles me all the time with church is that we feel that somebody has to come in, set everything up, put the fork in the food, make sure the food tastes well, and we sit there. You know, sometimes I just get so challenged when I'm giving things away, because the person comes and they'll say, oh, the only color you have are white socks. And you're like, yes. Oh man, you should have got some additional type of socks. And then since I have a big mouth, and I said, well, I'm giving you the sons. Yeah, but you should have had multicolor so I could choose. I said, no, you should get a job. And by your, then people say, oh, Pastor, that's so cold. But they overlook all of that. Yes, during the crack epidemic, a person comes to the church and said, oh, give me money. He said, no, I know you're going to buy drugs. Oh, Pastor, everybody isn't like that. This is not the person standing before you. These are the people around you. So now, why am I saying that to you? You can't make money around people who do not want to make money. You cannot get things in going into your favor if you are surrounded by people that the only thing they're trying to do is to sit there and say, you know, who's giving away something today? Now I'm gonna say to you, maybe some prime steaks and some lobsters, maybe some what they call them, scallops. Got somebody giving away some scallops, I might come out the door. You know, because scallops are like $24 a pound. I may come out the door. What I'm gonna say to you is that I'll take my computer and I'll go to every website on that computer. You can apply for food enhancements. You can apply for clothing enhancements. You can apply for unemployment, all at your computer. And they'll send it to your home. And you can order all the things. What I'm saying to you is in this environment, it is just not worth it to put yourself at risk because you feel you're entitled. You know, and so here, if you're going to get the vaccine, then you have to look at the fact that if it was me, I would try to own some Pfizer stock. I would try to own some Moderna stock. Novavax is coming out next week with their vaccine. I would try to buy some Novavax stock because I would sit there and say, these people aren't doing this for their health. Oh, but Dr. Stokeman, there's a law that says that the government can force them. Now, Pfizer already been in court on that. Pfizer said they can't give up their proprietary. So what I'm saying to you is what I'm saying to you is that can you, if you can you look at these things and can you make them work for you? Can you make them work in a way where every time that you look up, the only thing that you are trying to do is to get paid? And then, you know, each day through the week, we have a Bible study. On Sundays, I have church service. So when you want to be altruistic, you come there. So now this is the last part of our lesson and our little talk today. Because if you didn't make any money this week, this is a good time to start. Now, you're opening those accounts. And when you're opening those accounts, what you're trying to do with those accounts is that you're trying to say, how do I get paid? Now, see, I'm glad you're asking these questions because, see, how you get paid, you don't get paid by sitting there moping. And what do I mean by that? You know, you can sit all the day long and you can make all the right moves. You can have all the right, what would you call it? All the right things. But I'm telling you today, we're in uncharted territory. And the thing that was so embarrassing is that Robin Hood, first what Robin Hood does is that Robin Hood is trying to make you see that there always will be some problems. So now here is Robin Hood. Everything that happened this week, they keep saying the little man, the little man, the little man. So go with it. So now you should you should get you a REDDIT, a Reddit account, so that the people there, what they are doing, they are telling each other what stock is hot. And so what Reddit did, it went to game stock. It served 1,600 points. Oh, Lord. And AMC, from January 11th to January 27th, it went up 600%. Nokia. You remember Nokia? You remember the BlackBerry? Everybody had to have a BlackBerry. That was the thing, you know. Even when Mr. Obama became president, he would not give up his BlackBerry. And everybody said, oh, no, give me the iPhone. He said, no, I don't want an iPhone. And then let me tell you who else was in the news. I can't eat them like I used to, but Tootsie Roll was in the news. Because they skyrocketed. On Wednesday, New York Stock Exchange, it paused trading on GameStop, BlackBerry, and AMC. They were citing volatility. They were saying no stock could do that unless something was wrong. So now, when I came on and I said to you, I said, this morning it was at 360. It's now at 290. Now, if that wasn't telling you to go buy something, because you could have bought it and held it. You could always trade a grid of it. You just couldn't buy anymore. So you could take 10 times 2,900, 10 times 290 would have been $2,940. You could have sold it at $3,600. You could have walked away with $700. And all that took is like 45 minutes. And then yesterday, the brokers, including Robinhood, including E-Trade and Webull, they restricted certain trading activities. And everybody went wild because they were listening to the news. Don't listen to the news for stuff like that. So these investors, unfortunately they're not. Some investors lost money. And many was angry because sometimes when you look at that, every time you look up, to be a big broker, you got to make certain regulations and meet certain criteria. But most people, they don't have the kind of money to become that. So every time you look up, this is an unprecedented moment in the market. And so every time you're seeing these things, what you have to do is that the new reality is structure, rules, or regulation will change to adapt to. Now, I don't know what I'm saying, but this is what I'm attempting to tell you, is that you cannot invest like your mama and your father, your mother and your father invested. You can't buy a stock, put it in the drawer, forget about it. Because if you do that, the thing that would happen would be if the market is changing, it may never lose money to the point where it's worthless. But there are times in the market where these unprecedented times, you can sell your stock, then turn around and buy back. Or you can sell contracts because you now have you have this, I have the stock. And see, with all of these, they're going to ask you, do you want to borrow some money? Yes. All right. So now, everything. Now, General Motors is another person that is following Elon Musk and Tesla. They're going to keep their gas cars, which Elon Musk does not have, strictly gas, and they're going to make an electric car. So now General Motors stock has been in the pits. That was one of those companies that is yelling on the economic policy. She bailed out. They never paid the money back yet. Some people say yes, but they haven't paid all of them billions of dollars back. And so over the past few years, what GM has been trying to do is they are trying to spend money on electric and autonomous vehicles. but they always say 2025. So what you doing? So they went all in and they said 2035. Because see, by 2035, some of us, we won't even remember that conversation. And that's what they're banking on. And then the young people who at that point will be in their 50s and 60s, they will say, yeah, no, GM is a great company. So every time GM's the largest by sale, Tesla Tesla is the richest. But that's again, they pump that stock up. And the thing happens is those $200 shares that we got in August, those shares are worth $800 a piece now. Yes. Sitting there saying, buy it, buy it, buy it, buy it, buy it. And so that's the thing. So GM is doing all of this. So what they're doing what Netflix did. Netflix came up and said, get rid of all of your DVDs. In 2007, I had a Netflix account. But then people would say, no, go to this kiosk and put your credit card in. You can get your movie. You keep it for a few days and then you take it back or you mail it back. I just couldn't see the benefit of that. But Netflix came and Netflix has skyrocketed doing this. They have 400 million subscribers. They have 200 million that went for that all out, all in, all out, over $100 and some a month. And then they have 400 million subscribers worldwide. And before COVID, they were struggling to survive. So what I want you to do is know that Novavax, that's another good investment. They said it's 89% effective. And Diageo, I used to laugh because when they was doing Don Julio, it was all over the country because what they was doing, they called it the DJ. And they were bringing fabulous DJs, well-known DJs to push this. But Diageo now, they said that tequila sales jumped 80% during the second half of 2020. So see, money's being made. Every time you see things, money's being made. I want you to look at two things now. So if you got Southwest stock or you have American stock, be careful because see, they both lost more money than they've ever lost. And they're claiming that their flights sales have plunged. So that's going to reflect in their stock. So if you can, look at that. And McDonald's, for the first time, they jumped 5.5 last quarter. And that's the thing. And thank you again for coming. And I hope that there's something that I'm saying to you that will help you to see all the things that are beneficial to you. Because you can't make it out here if you're not trying to see some of these things and see them in a major way. You got to see them, and you have to not be afraid to invest in them. You have to invest in them in such a way that every time you look up, the only thing that is coming your way is money. Now, you're saying, what do I do? Again, you open up a Webull account. Again, you open up a Robinhood account. They're all online. You open up an Ameritrade account. And in these, you can fund them through $400. Even Robinhood is going to give you a stock. Webull is going to give you a stock to get you started. So you start investing in those things. And then you come back and you make money. I thank you. Let me see. If you have any questions, would you put them up now? And then I will start answering some questions. Because see, the toughest part that you're going to find beyond anything is that You're trying to make yourself see things in a different way. And when you see them in a different way, the only thing that's going to happen is that you'll sit there and you'll say, how do I make myself make money? Well, you don't make money because every time you look up, things are going your way. No, you don't make money that way. How you make money is that you make money by making sure that every time you push these things, you're trying to make yourself benefit. You're trying to make yourself start doing this. You start trying to make yourself do some things that only you can make them do. Because you can't just say, I know that I got this going. But what you have to say beyond anything is that you have to say to yourself that I got a way to make money. But thank you so much for being a part of our lesson tonight. And what I'll do is definitely, I'll see you very soon, and I'll see you to where everything that we are trying to get done, you'll see this tremendous. And I know you kids, you say, Dr. Stokely seems like you're repeating yourself. No, what I'm trying to say is that you can make money, but the way you're making the money, it has to be where you step in and you step up. And the only thing that you'll see is that you'll see those little things that you thought were not going to be great money makers. So if we're going into next week, now I want you to watch over the weekend. I want you to go to Yahoo Finance, and whatever stock has been interesting to you, put their symbols in, and they'll tell you how they look overnight. And then the reason you are doing that is because you're trying your best to become, just for a little while, you're trying your best to become that person that nowhere in the world that you ever would have thought that would have made, that's you, that would have made the type of money that you can make in this environment. You can make a ton of money. Don't leave your money from the stimulus. Don't leave it on the table. Go get your money. Don't leave your money just sitting in the bank. Take some of it and invest it and see how much money you can make. If you don't buy the whole stock, buy some fractions. You can do that through Cash App. Buy some fractions of, buy some fractional shares of a Bitcoin. But you have to be in the market. You have to be in the market. And this is where you're going to make money. When do I think COVID is going to be over from an investment standpoint? Probably March of 2022. Because every time there's been any type of worldwide event, it takes about 2 years for that event to be absolved. Look at the wars, look at like the economic crisis, it didn't end until about 2013, 2014. But it started 2007. And that's the thing. So what I want you to do, I thank you so very much. You have a beautiful night, and I'll see you next Friday. And I know that I missed some days, and the thing has happened is that in missing those days, I'm going to try to always be with you each night, trying to keep all things going. And thank you so very much. Have a great evening. Oh yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. And I hope that there was something in this that was beneficial to you. And thank you now. And have a great evening. Make it a great one. and I'll see you next week. Thank you now. Good evening. Thank you. Thank you.